How's it going, listeners? Live from County Kildare in the Clane Triangle. That's Clane, Robertstown and Sallins. 'Tis myself here, Milky Twiddlers, with another podcast. Codcast, call it whatever you want. Now let's hope it's a better one than last week's, which was an absolute disaster with PJ Gallagher, who, let's just put it this way, has an awful dirty tongue. Lots of complaints afterwards that people were offended by the language what he employed during the broadcast, so sorry about that. So today I think we'll make it a little bit more ghostly and spiritual and different and interesting, cause on the other end of the line I got Mr. Derek Acorah, formerly of Most Haunted, where he was supposedly exposed as a fake, but I don't believe it myself, and I don't think you will either. Derek Acorah, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Nice to speak to you.
Katie Hopkins, the mad English woman who just likes saying what she thinks and annoying the virtue signallers, which, let's face it, is just about the majority of people these days, just let off a massive tweet, Derek. She says you was in Lidl in the aisle there and you were buying cigarettes, or ciggies, as you'd call them. Anyway, Derek, Katie says you had a big foghorn mouth on you, a real giving it the big I am, and you barged past narrowly missing a veteran's Mr. Whippy because it was a hot day, like, shouting and all. Is that true? Do you have a big booming voice, Derek?
Well, a lot of people say that I've got a booming voice. I don't recognise that myself.
Anne Widdecombe, her what looks like Quasimodo going through a car wash, let off a massive tweet saying that you was or is whatever, a ginger overweight chancer.
Well, I'm overweight, I'm not ginger. I'm a spiritual medium.
What the fuck be that, Derek? Is that like you're ordering a steak for a priest or something? You know, like, Father, how would you like your steak? And I'd normally say something smart like, just cut the cow's tail off and wipe its ass, because I'm Milky Twiddlers, and jokes does be expected from me, like. But her priest, my answer, I'd like it spiritual medium, but not too much blood, like, because that reminds me of how Jesus died, and I do have flashbacks, like. Is that the kind of spiritual medium you're on about, like?
I'm a very, very, responsible spiritual medium. I follow all the codes.
Like the Green Cross Code, like?
Sam keeps on telling me I do.
Who the fuck is Sam? You know, like with spirits, ghosts and that, how does they show up in your vivid imagination, like?
So, if you're an open instrument and they know this, which they do, they'll clamour around you and they'll come at you 24/7. So you have to be in control of your communicating and your skills and the responsibility with it.
Could I, or anyone, like, summons up spirits? I'm not talking about ordering vodka online from Tesco and that, but do you just shout at them, "Spirits, show yourself! Show yourself!" Or something?
So, I open up when I go to work. When I'm doing anything spiritual, I open up. And I always open up with a prayer of invocation. It's what we call protection.
Funny, I was interviewing Jordan this morning, and you've got a lot in common with her, you know.
I've got a lot in common with Jordan.
Well, you've both got your knockers.
Yes, of course we have, yeah. Now, I wonder whose knockers are the worst.
Very funny, isn't he? You're very funny, listeners. Jesus. Just like to get political for a minute. Has the old English government got it wrong on Brexit? Like, I've a percentage in me head as to how much they got it wrong, like. Let's see if you can predict what that number is.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. I would say there'd have to be 96%.
Jesus! How do you do that? Like, 96% was exactly what I was thinking. Jesus, Derek, I'm a believer. Jesus, you're very good. Isn't he very good, listeners? Eh? Jesus. Derek, do all these voices in your head drive you fucking nuts?
Let's use an example. A spirit person suddenly shows him or herself to me, but they're not talking.
Sorry to interrupt, like, but don't wives do that when you come home sheepishly after a feed of pints in the pub, like, and then the wife comes into the room, but she's not talking? Happens to loads of us, Derek. So, them spirits is the same and all?
I've come off track of what the question was, sorry.
Concentrate, Derek, will you? I was saying, how do the spirits come to you, like?
I see a spirit person very tangibly. When a spirit person comes into the atmosphere, in a scenario of a stage, a theatre, I will see the outline start to develop. I will then start to see structure. Then the last thing's been features.
Now, let's say you're doing a show, Derek, and you're a nice man, that goes without saying, but the audience cop on that you're not Derek Acorah, but more Derek a Chancellor. Couldn't there be thousands baying for your blood, coming at you with pitchforks to stick up your bum and stuff? Derek, how do you escape that kind of rage and anger and that?
Could be 2,000, 2,500 people in that theatre. And I'll run off the stage and go up into the top tier.
Derek, you're a lovely man. No, Derek, I do mean that. Not in a gay way. Not that that would be wrong, like. Keep that rainbow flag flying, folks. But you're a lovely man. And if I was a man who, biblically laid with other men, well, then I'd love to go to bed with you. But as I'm not, I'm leaving it as Derek, you're a lovely man, a very misunderstood man. Oh, God, Derek, you're lovely, so you are.
Thank you, that's lovely. That's better than what a lot of people talk about me or say about me. You know something, I'd love you as my guest, if you would sometime, when I'm on my tour. Please come along an evening, maybe with a friend, and just sit, and if you've never seen an evening like this, and then maybe we can have another gab. And you tell me what your findings were.
Oh, you've been a lovely guest, Derek, so fuck off to your ghosts and hauntings and that, and I might just make it to that show. Provided it's free, like.
I'd love you to do that. It's my pleasure, and thank you. I've really enjoyed this.
I'm a bit choked up because Derek Acorah is very misunderstood, like. I'll go so, and see you for another Milky Twiddlers podcast soon. May the road rise with you. See yous. Bye.